Hi, good morning. Today I'm going to do a little gardening, and I did some yesterday. One of the problems we've been having here in South Texas is that we've been getting an unusual amount of rain this year. Now, I have these plants. They're called Oyster Plants, and I already dug them up, and I'm going to replant them because this is what happens when you have oyster plants. You can see it's like flattened out, and what happens is when you get a lot of rain, you get what's called root rot, and you can see that it's all rotted. So you can see it rotted away because with too much moisture. So what I do now, there's some, you have to be careful. This has taken root over here, you can tell. So what I do is I take a shovel and I uproot everything. I knock off the dirt, because what happens is these are all too compacted together, and that's what caused the root rot. So what you have to do is you have to remove this once in a while. You remove your plants. This is why you have to do some work when you have gardening. So I remove it and then I separate it. And what I'll do is I'll show you, I'm going to dig up some and I'll show you what to do. Let me just set up the camera so you can see. So I take my shovel and I put it in, and you dig it up. Now another problem we have here is the soil is high in clay content. Now this soil isn't too bad because when I did my walkway around my house, I had dirt delivery for the whole backyard, but it wasn't sufficient enough in some areas. So you could see here that there's a lot of dead material, and when this gets wet, what happens is you get the root rot. Now this can be saved. You can tell that there's a root growing from it, and what I do is I just peel back the dead material. So I peel it back like this, and then put it over on the side, and I break apart the soil that's around the roots. Oh. That's around the roots. Break it with your hands, and then you grab it up. Now I break it apart, and when you break this apart, you scrape off the old soil, take off the dead material, and we'll replant this. See this? Now, this one here is dead. This you can tell from the top. If you look in here, you can see that it's rotted. So that's no good. Now this one is still healthy. You can tell from the bottom It has a root. And this one's no good. If you can wiggle it, I'll show you. You see the rot. So what I'm going to do is I'll dig up the rest, and then I'll show you how I replant them back into the garden. I got everything cleaned up in the area, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to replant it. And how I do it is I have a drill and I have an auger on it. So you just place it in, and we'll do about every 6 inches or so. Sometimes it's stuck. Reverse. So now another thing I did was I trimmed our aloe. My aloe is special because this is the commercial grade aloe. They sell each piece of this for $2 to $3 in the store. Now look at I'll compare the size to my hand. Okay, it's very large. Now compared to what they sell in the store, aloe plants, that aloe plant is a very narrow aloe. And the problem with aloe, I know from experience, is that the narrow ones is sometimes you pick it and you break it, it smells like rotten onions. So that's why you really can't get this. I found this laying on the side of the road. Someone had dumped it. So I took it home. I recognized what it was. Now we get what's called pups, and this is how we get new aloe. It comes up from the root. I'll just pull it up, and you can see that it has a root on it. What I'll do is I'll trim this root, and I'll put this in a pot like so and get new aloe. Now this aloe has changed color because it's probably root bound and needs to be put in the ground, but we get all the free aloe that we want. Another thing about oyster plants, oyster plants now are selling for a small pot between $4 and $5 a pot. Aloe, I mean the oyster plant. Now we only started off with about 4 oyster plants. Now we have this many, we have it down the side there, and what happens is you can see right here, this is a bunch and it grows off the side, and you break this apart and you'll get more growth and more plants. So with an oyster plant, you don't have to go out and spend a lot of money, but you need patience. You need patience in order to get enough plants. And now you just keep on doing it year after year, breaking them apart, replanting them. You can put them in pots and hold them there, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to start planting these, and I'll show you. Oh, another thing is, now when I replant these, I peel off some of the leaves at the bottom, the larger leaves. Okay, you can You can peel them off. They're very easy. They snap right off. Then I'll put this in the ground like so. I'll show you. So I put that in the ground, and then put the dirt around it. Now it doesn't have to be compacted. Now I have another little aloe pup over there, and I have one down there. So I'll be removing those and putting those in pots. And I'll show you what this looks like after I put in some more of the oyster plants. So stay tuned. Also, I trimmed off the bottom of the aloe. It was laying on the ground. And what I did with that is I put it over on the side, over here. My mother-in-law says that it's good for hair. She puts it in her hair. Now some people will make it like a tea out of it, and they'll drink it. Other people, for sunburn, they put it on their skin for sunburn. So there's many uses for aloe. You'll find aloe in a lot of cosmetics and things like that. So if you're living down south, try to get the commercial grade aloe. It's I don't know of any store that sells it. Maybe they have it online. Anyway, I'm gonna go back to work here, and I'll show you what it looks like when I have a row in. Let me show you the before, and then I'll show you the after. So I got in the plants. You can see I reset the oyster plants. All the aloe is trimmed. Now this is like a mounding plant, so it will come back. It will send off shoots and grow additional plants. Now with the very small ones, what I did was I put them in pots. Now they're very close together, they're very small plants, and I put them in potting soil. What will happen is they have some roots, but they'll get more roots, so then I can transplant them someplace else. Anyway, I hope you like this video. Please click like, subscribe, share. Have a good day, everyone.